Good American Family episode 5 finally gets to Natalia's POV, and it will hurt your heart review. In the previous episode of Good American Family last week, episode 4, the final moments saw Christine and Michael officially changing Natalia's age and sending her away to live by herself. And that's where today's new episode picks up, and it's heartbreaking. After waiting halfway through the season, we finally get to Natalia's point of view. Here's a review of episode 5 on Hulu. The episode first starts with Natalia speaking to an investigator, and she tells him that she did hide knives, repeats the mantra we keep hearing in the episode of she's 22, but looks young for her age and more. At first, we're left wondering if this is really how she feels, and the Barnetts are right about her. Or is it perhaps a defense mechanism? Worse, it's fear. We go back to the start of her living alone, and it's so heartbreaking to see her run after her parents. They take her walker too, just to be more cruel, I guess. And now she doesn't have help walking. The home is all stocked up on food, but the food is placed in inconvenient spots that are too high. She also doesn't know how to open a can with a can opener, and the faucet in the shower won't turn. She lets herself into a neighbor's house and finds a treat. It would be a cute, lighthearted moment, as it's something many kids do when they find something sweet. But the way Natalia is stuffing her face is proof of how hungry she is. Again, she's a kid, at least from this point of view, and doesn't know how to cook or make her own food. Though I do want to preface this with the fact that in real life, judges have overturned the change of her legal age, and it's back to the way it was, which means she really was a child at this point. Throughout Good American Family episode 5, we continue to see Natalia go through struggles. She misses her family, and it makes her happy to see Christine on TV doing an interview. She also heads to the library to get her book, but gets angry and hurt when she notices one of the images used in the book originally had her in it, but she was cropped out. Due to her age and the difficulties Natalia has been through, she has outbursts, and one happens at the library as she steals the book. That's when Michael pays her a visit and brings her more items. It truly tears at your heart as she's begging him not to go. And he tells her to clean herself up and behave, then gets angry and says if she'd done that in the first place, they wouldn't all be here. She really does try and cleans up her apartment, and it seems like she's befriended the neighbor and her grandson. But things just keep going wrong for Natalia. The two kids try to go to the Barnett home so she can see her parents, but finds out that they're moving to Canada. With the kids going missing for so long, her neighbor got worried about her grandson and is angry with Natalia, and demands she gets kicked out. She does, and this time Christine comes around, and she is not nice. Natalia gets a new place, but there's so many stairs to go up. And then everything Natalia says at the beginning of the episode during her interview with the detective makes sense. We see the moment where Christine threatens her, and a desperate Natalia tells her she's tell people whatever she wants. Christine then maces her, and we see Natalia in a college class that is clearly too advanced for the child she is. Good American Family episode 5 is definitely not an easy episode to watch. Basically, the whole time, it's a heavy episode that sort of doesn't let up. It's so crazy to think that these events are based on a true story. Now the real-life Christine, Michael, and Natalia all allege certain aspects from their point of view. But what is true is that it turns out Natalia was a child when the Barnetts left her. I don't know how she lived on her own. I enjoyed the previous 4 episodes and thought they were important to have, but it took a little too long to get into Natalia's point of view. But it finally arrived here, and it makes the show all the more better, even if it is heartbreaking to watch. This episode really makes you think about how certain events play out, and how people can tell one version over the other and make the lie believable. Plus actress Imogen Reed completely knocked it out of the ballpark. At long last, Good American Family gives the audience what it's been quietly building towards since the pilot, Natalia's point of view. Episode 5, titled The Quiet Daughter, is a heart-wrenching, slow-burn character study that peels back the carefully curated layers of the youngest Bennett child. And let me warn you now, if you thought Natalia was just the background observer, the family wallflower, this episode will break you in ways you weren't ready for. The Bennett family has been presented to us in glossy fragments over the first 4 episodes. Patriarch Hank, the stoic war veteran turned small-town mayor. Diane, the elegant but brittle matriarch with her perfectly iced cakes and passive-aggressive pearls of wisdom. Their golden son Caleb, all-American, charming, and cracking under expectations. And Lena, the rebel with a cause, the voice of progressive challenge. But Natalia, until now, she's been the quiet one, the one watching from the corner of family dinners, and fading into the wallpaper of conflict. Episode 5 rewinds time a bit, not for shock factor, but to reframe everything we've seen so far through Natalia's eyes. We start not in the Bennett home, but in her small, cozy bedroom, where she's typing an anonymous blog post. It's a jarring shift. Her inner monologue is poetic, aching, and observant, so different from the tight-lipped girl we've seen. Some families speak in thunder. Mine speaks in silence, and I'm the echo. That line sets the tone for the entire episode. From there, director Ava Martinez, who also wrote the episode, invites us into Natalia's internal world with dreamy flashbacks, blurred memories, and whispered voiceovers. We learn about the time she won a poetry contest in 9th grade, and how Diane, distracted by Lena's latest protest, barely noticed. We see her staying late at school not for clubs or friends, but to avoid the prickly silences at home. We see Caleb's hollowed-out smile at her as he rushes off to another campaign event with their father, always promising next time for her. The central tension of the episode hinges on Natalia's college acceptance letter. She's been accepted to a writing program in Portland, a full ride. But instead of elation, she feels a sickening weight. It's not that she's unsure of going. It's that she knows no one in her family will ask where she's going, because no one ever asks. And then comes the devastating reveal. Natalia has been writing a secret memoir about her family. Snippets of it are laced throughout the episode, serving as both a narration device and a therapeutic confessional. I'm the invisible thread holding this house together, she writes. And if I leave, I wonder if they'll even feel the unraveling. What's truly brilliant about this episode is how it doesn't villainize the other family members. Instead, it has complexity. Hank's rigidness is shown not as malice, but a deeply ingrained fear of change. Diane's detachment is framed through her own buried grief, the stillbirth we only now learn about, and how Natalia's quietness always reminded her of the baby she lost. Even Lena's fiery independence is shown through Natalia's lens as both admirable and isolating. Lena has always been something. Natalia, she's still trying to figure that out. The emotional climax lands when Natalia reads her memoir aloud during an open mic at her school. Her voice shakes, but her words slice through the air like glass. I live in a house of people who love me, but forget I'm real, she says. Diane, in the audience after being tipped off by a teacher, listens, her expression unreadable. But as Natalia finishes, the room erupts in applause. She doesn't look at her mother. She just smiles, maybe for the first time in the entire series, and walks off stage. The final scene is the quietest, but the most crushing. Natalia returns home late that night to find a note on her bedroom door. I read the blog. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Love, Mom. She doesn't open the door. She just sits down, leans against it, and closes her eyes. No music plays, no dramatic score, just silence. And it's the silence that speaks volumes. What makes this episode so shattering is how real it feels. So many families have a Natalia, the one who absorbs, who listens, who doesn't make waves. And so often, that person is overlooked, their needs buried under the noise of the louder personalities. This episode dares to say, the quiet ones are drowning too. Technically, episode 5 is a standout. The cinematography is noticeably softer, with sunlight filtering through blinds and handheld shots that feel almost documentary-like. The editing cleverly interlaces past and present, making the viewer feel like they're swimming in Natalia's consciousness. And the music. My God, the music. A piano cover of Bittersweet Symphony plays over the blood voiceover, and it's enough to give you full-body chills.